I remember first time I ever met you.
You do?
No. Actually, I do. No, I do. It was
all the life went out of you when you said no. That was really fun.
I saw you rise up and then fall down. No, you came to our apartment and met you. Or was it someone else's?
No.
Apartment?
You know what? We had worked together on SNL, but I wasn't. I was very shy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remembered I don't want to get in Steve. So I was writing things but not approaching you. I was in the background. But then I was chosen for, Lorne said, I think this fellow could host the late night show. It'll be rough for a few years, but he'll eventually get it. I think he could do it. So I'm named Letterman's replacement. And the first thing I do when I come out to LA is Lorne says, and maybe this is a thing he does, but he said, let's take a walk through the flats of Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. And people told me later on that Lorne likes
Beverly Hills,
take a walk. And he's taking this walk and he's giving me advice. He's saying, always tip. You're known now. Always tip at least 15% or you'll show up in the Post. I thought he was going to tell me, like, here's the secret.
Yeah.
But he was telling me things like that, which was fine. And then he said, let's see if Steve's in. And I didn't know, Steve, you always assume Steve Croft. And so
Steve Rossi.
Yeah, exactly. So he knocks on a door and you answer. And you have us into your place. And I was like, this is too much. I've just been put into this situation and I need to navigate this. And now we're dropping in on Steve Martin. And I'll never forget, you had just had all the paintings taken down. And I think I just said, like, oh, there are no paintings. And you reacted immediately as if you had been robbed. You're like, what? Oh, my God. And I thought, oh, shit, that's funny.
That's a perfect reaction to where are your paintings.
Yeah. Whenever in studio, I remembered once, every now and then you'd be in the studio at 6A rehearsing, and the lights would go out because of some situation in the building, Rockefeller Center, some situation. The lights would just go out. And Andy would always instantly scream, my pearls!
Well, Andy who?
Andy Richter.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was just, my pearls! And...
Oh, I got to remember
so
that,
funny.
But I have to give him credit.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, just take it.
No.
Yeah.
Andy was fine.
I know I'll blow it. My what was it? Pearls?
My previews. Previews. I mean, pearls.
My Pez.
My Pez.
How did you guys decide we're going to start working together as a two-hander act? How did that come about?
I'll tell you what. It's a boring story, so I'm going to give it to you.
No. It was 2011. We were asked to interview each other it was the closing of the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival in Chicago. Mm-hmm. It was May, and it was 2011, and we just interviewed.
What did we have
each
for
other.
breakfast?
You had scrambled eggs. I had French toast. Come on, man. I had syrup. No, and we interviewed each other, and that was it. And it went well, and we thought we'd do it again. And we just then...
Well, the funny part is we were interviewing each other about comedy for a comedy festival.
Right.
Yes.
So we could talk about comedy, kind of like we're doing here, but, to comedy people, it's kind of interesting. So we thought, hey, let's do that again. So we got a corporate gig or something.
For dentists.
And so we're sitting and we're talking about comedy and we're thinking, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then we started, and Marty had a show he did solo, and I had a show that I did with a band. And so we kind of combined them. But he had material, and I had a bunch of songs with funny intros. Mm-hmm. And when we first started working together, he had everything, and I kind of had nothing, because I didn't bring the band. I said, "Well, I got to bring the band." So that's when it started to gel into a show, and I can go on.
No.
Yeah, I can go on.
No. It's first of all, that was great. That was interesting.
Anyway, well, as I was saying, that.
No, I think you said it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is just
but I didn't think I got to the part.
Oh, you didn't need to.
Oh, okay.
This reminds me of, I made the mistake once of, and it's like wearing the shorts, but I knew I made this terrible mistake of someone had mentioned food and what they eat, and I said, well, you know what I do now is I eat 2 meals a day. I have like a shake at 11, and I put a lot of spinach in it, and then I try to eat dinner early, like at 5. And then as I'm finishing saying it, I see Marty just staring at me, the way a shark looks at a canned ham that fell into the ocean. And he looks at me and he said, when other people discuss the details of their diet, it's boring, but not you. And of course, there were some writers standing around who were like, yes.
Well, they love when the boss is attacked.
That was also just me realizing, why did I get into this? Why did I lather myself up with bacon grease and then climb into this piranha pool? Why did I do that?
My wife is very wise about talking about what you eat. She said, you're allowed to talk about what you do eat, but you're not allowed to talk about what you don't eat.
That's very good. That's very good.
Oh, that's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a
I mean,
lot.
if this podcast, if we go away with one thing, that's it.
It's like with me, beets. I don't eat beets. Oh, wow.
Well, I think it's, I'm curious. One thing I was curious about is, when you come up with a great new insult for the other, do you ever try it out in the moment on stage, or do you ever?
Have
you tried to surprise each other ever?
Not really, but sometimes we've come up with things.
And then we'll go right to the prompter afterwards and say, "Oh, right, that we'll remember it."
What prompter?
That if we had a prompter, if we had a prompter,
yeah. So you're saying if we had a prompter and
we would
came up with a joke, we would go over and talk.
No. I mean, now we just go to our own minds and lock it in.
Mm-hmm.